Welcome to Synth University.
Today we're going to be making a super funky bass synth sound using Retro Synth, which is a built-in synthesizer in Logic and MainStage. This synth is really great because it's super percussive and punchy, and it's something that can really stand out in your mix. It's the kind of sound that you might hear on a Stevie Wonder record, and I use it all the time. And you can actually find this synthesizer sound in my Retro Synth pack, which is a collection of 30 sounds. It contains leads, basses, pads, you name it. I use them all the time, and you can actually find that in a link in the description below. So to get started, this is just my microphone here, but to get started, we're going to create a new software instrument track, and we're going to load up Retro Synth. So when we load it up, we want to have the factory default recalled. So if it doesn't already say factory default, click down here, recall default. And now we're going to just have a basic sound with 2 saw waves, which sounds like this. And the first thing we're going to do is adjust the second oscillator into a triangle wave. And we're going to move it also an octave down. Then we're going to adjust the mix of the 2 oscillators to have slightly more of the saw wave sound in the first oscillator, which now sounds like this. So you can hear that lower octave. Next, we're going to adjust the filter. We're going to bring the cutoff down to about 0.26. And we're going to bring the envelope up to about 0.77. So now we have this sound. At this point, the tone sounds great, but we need to adjust the percussiveness, and that can be done using the filter and amp envelopes. So with the filter, we're going to take the attack down to 0. We're going to take the decay down also to 300. And this is the key, I think, it's because it's the filter is what controls the tone. And by taking the decay and the sustain, which we're going to take down to about 0.12, adjusting these 2 parameters is what really makes it percussive, because the tone is decaying very quickly. And we're going to leave the release where it's at. With the amp envelope, we're going to leave attack where it is. We're going to move the decay to about 58 milliseconds. The sustain to 0.81. And we'll leave the release where it's at. And so now it sounds like this. And we're just about finished. The last thing we're going to do is click on settings here, and we're going to change the voices to a mono. Usually bass synths are mono. You would find something like that on a Moog, a mini Moog, and it just makes it a bit more powerful sounding and easier to play. And lastly, I like to take the stereo spread down to 0. This is an optional thing. It depends how you want things to, if you want your bass sound to be mono or stereo. I think when it's mono, it sounds a bit fatter. Another thing you can experiment with is with the voice stacking, and I'll let you play with that. But that's just about it. And if you're using the factory default, your mod wheel is already set to add some vibrato. So you can do things like this. And that's just about it. Super easy synth sound to make, and you can find that in my Retro Synth pack. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon.
Thanks for watching Synth University.